What's good? What's good? What's good? Hey yo, not for nothing, right? As opposed to for something. I I'm on YouTube today, and I come across this guy. I've never seen him before. I didn't know these people existed. I mean, I do. I do. Let me not act like I'm oblivious to the Uncle Ruckus of it all. But my man Tatum. His name is Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum. Um, and so I met this guy. Well, I didn't meet him, but I come to know him or know about him today. On my way to work, I'll have my phone posted up, in the car, and I'll be listening to different things. Maybe I'm listening to music sometimes. I'll have a YouTube video playing or whatever, and I come across this guy here, and I was just like, yo, I mean, I've been loosely following the Nolan Wells case, and I say loosely because if you allow, the things that are going on in the world to occupy a great deal of space in either your mind or your life, you are going to go crazy, especially as um, a black person in America right now. It's serious. I mean, look, I'm all for you know telling my people, man, we gotta get it together, work hard. You know, I'm not with the excuses. I'm not one who's willing to blame um, where we are as a people on anybody else but ourselves, man. Yes, I do know that the racism and all of that is systemic, um, and I know the long term effects that this particular thing in history has had on us as a people, and even now, how those long term effects um, are in some ways, a lot of ways, affecting us as a community. But I'm not with you know, the lack of accountability of it all. We as a people, I do believe a lot of where we find ourselves is based off of the choices that we make. I mean, I I am one to talk. I've made decisions. I've been in certain places and spaces and had to deal with, you know, the consequences of my actions, right? And and have made, you know, all the necessary changes, taking great strides to do a 180, not a 360. I hate when people say that too, like, yo, you gotta do a 360. Don't you know that means you just went, like, turned around and went right in the same direction you started? I don't know. When people say that, it's stupid. They obviously don't. Never mind. I digress. I'm a tough, a gangster nerd, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. But anywho, I came across this guy, man, Officer Tatum, and so what I learned so much just watching this guy's videos, and there's a few other guys like him, right? So when I say Uncle Ruckus, if those who don't know who I'm referring to, there was a cartoon called the Boondocks. And on the Boondocks, there was this matter of fact, I could show you better than I could tell you. Hold on, I could show you better than I could tell you. Yeah, I bought company tonight. Last night I was just talking, but I wanted to be able to better illustrate the things that I'm saying. So in order to do that, I thought it'd be better if I, plugged into what I be watching, what I'm looking at, and make sure that when I'm trying to say something, I could convey the message to you in a way where it would land, like it would hit, it would stick a little bit better. So I brought company. I got YouTube with me. Me and YouTube gonna talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get some points across. But anyway, the Uncle Ruckus of it all, right? My boy Uncle Ruckus, man. Listen, man. Hold on. I'm just gonna do the ranking. Yeah, let's go right to this. Uh, so, all right, all right. To further illustrate what a Uncle Ruckus is, let me see. 510. Let's, let me turn this down. talking with some people, and don't you know? Ah, man, I want to be able to say he went so far as to say that he was speaking about the gentleman who passed away though, died, Charlie Kirk. Man, man, he lost a good guy. Anyway, I rest his soul. Peace and condolences to his loved ones. Anyway, he was talking about how Charlie Kirk, another person on the panel was saying that Charlie Kirk said that slavery was a good thing, like it was, it was the best thing that ever happened to us. And this guy, and this is what sent me down the rabbit hole, trying to find out more about. Maybe he was like, I thought maybe he was like being funny, like is this guy like, is he just rage baiting? Like, is he like, was this a joke? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, there's no possible way that this is a real person, you know, who's saying that. I just thought it was, it had to be funny, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. He's dead ass serious about. Oh, this is right here. Oh my gosh. Yo, listen. I do not support, nor do I condone the nonsense that's about to come up here, but I feel as though this is the perfect entry to a good conversation to get started with anybody and everybody, especially people of color, black people, just to see where did we go wrong? Like that this sect, this certain sect of people that said, how did this happen? How did we get here? Right? But hold on a second. I digress. Shut up. Nobody. Shut up. Oh, did I go? Oh, because that's not even a part. I don't even care about that. It's not even a matter of what he said. It's a matter of what you said. Alright, so look, y'all can see I'm typing. My typing skills ain't up. I'm at home, I don't know, like I do very well at work, but don't be hating. I'm typing. That's it. That's it. Like, how? How does that happen? No, look, no. Listen, I know, I get it. And listen, I'm not going to be having these type of discussions all the time. I don't really, I'm the type of person I really don't particularly, track me. I really don't particularly care to have these type of discussions all the time. But when I seen this, I was like, yo, am I the only one who, like, finds this fascinating as a person, a black person, can vehemently defend, I don't care who it is, what their race is, but another person who said, or who may have said, that we as a people were better off during slavery. He didn't even know exactly what the guy said, but when the gentleman asked him straight out, do you agree with that? He said, yeah. Now, in the full discussion, there was a little bit of clarity brought to it from the guy, Brandon Tatum. There was a little bit more clarity as to what he was saying. He actually brought up years where, obviously slavery was not in effect anymore. But just the quickness that he was just so willing to defend this person who, on many occasions, if he wasn't a racist, he damn sure sounded like one a lot of times. It's just when people focus so much on, people who discuss, the black experience and are not the black experience, and if they're not having those discussions with people who experience it with the goal on, the betterment of said people, with the actual plan in place, or how we can and are actively doing things to make that come to fruition. If they're not doing that and they're just constantly talking about those people, I wouldn't consider them those type of people allies. I would call those type of people grifters, and that's a new word I learned today. Grifters, people who pretty much they become pundits. They use certain language, and discuss certain things just to get the attention. Clout chasers, that's it. They're just clout chasers, and they'll use whatever just to get the attention, which would in turn turn into money. So they're just using whatever it is that, you got people like Charleston White, who's another very odd person. I don't know, but this guy in particular, I was just like, all right, so he was a police officer for 6 years, and I think, he did some other things, but he was a police officer for 6 years, which is why they call him Officer Tatum. He wasn't Detective Tatum, but he didn't make it to that level. And he wasn't Prosecutor Tatum. He wasn't Judge Tatum. He wasn't Investigator Tatum. But somehow, some way, shape, form, or fashion, he has some, for some reason, become like one of the center people, or one of the focuses of the whole Nolan Wells case. He has taken it so far as to do interviews with all of Nolan Wells' supposedly friends, right? There's one of the kids that, and this other kid he spoke to, by all intents and purposes, he's a black kid. perfect, but Officer Tatum did an interview with him, and the kid's parents had since then come out and denounced this kid. We don't even know him. Like, we've never met this kid. But this kid is claiming that he was Nolan's best friend. And even when the kid is talking about Nolan, he doesn't say, that they're really, like, they can't come up with, certain instances where he can use it as an example to say that they shared, like, moments and things together. Track me. What are you doing? Track me. Well, he can't use any instances to say that, to prove that they were like best friends. And it's odd to me that he would interview this kid, when clearly, like, he doesn't have any real ties to this kid at all. He's just using his little moment to, and it's just crazy that everything that's going on with this case has become about everything and anything having to do with the simple question is what happened. What happened to, that's it. That's all. Like, as a mom and a dad, I would imagine that the parents of Nolan Wells just want to know what happened to the kid, which any parent would just want to know. We just want to know what happened to our kids. That's it. It's too much going on, in that case right now. It's just fishy. It's just too. And then with history, you match history together with how many times things similar has happened in the past. It's not too far-fetched to think that something malicious has happened, has taken place. It's too many things that are, pointing to or alluding to the fact that some underhanded shit is happening. Oh, my guy up there, he's just taking a deep breath for this shit. That's it. I specifically told AI to have my boy just take a deep breath, bro. Yeah, take a deep breath, because it's a lot, man. You need it. He's taking all the deep breaths that I can't. So anytime I'm up here, you see my boy just let it go. That's it for that. It's real right now, man. It's real. And you got guys on that side, man. There's like a list. You got your Stephen A. Smith. You got your Brandon Tatum. These people that. Listen. You got these people that make it seem as though they represent a certain people, but they're doing nothing but, throwing them under the bus. And it's sort of like, the people who intend to do harm to the black people, the black race, would use them, as like an example to say, like, well, he agrees with what's going on and he's black, or like, he's not seeing it the way that you are. He's black, but like, why is it that you people are constantly or quick to go to something bad has happened? Like, he was an officer, so he would know. Like, no, man, he doesn't represent like anybody. Not nobody I know. I mean, at the bare minimum, right? At the bare minimum, let these people do the investigation. Let's not point fingers. I'm not even saying do that. I'm not even saying do that. I do have eyes to see. I do have ears to hear and a brain to think, and I see certain things going on that thus far in the investigation as things are coming out. I mean, there was the whole phone recording, um, where you can hear clearly in the background someone saying, "Is he dead?" You know, they're screaming out the kid's name. You know, there's too many things that has been revealed to the public that indicate some nonsense is happening. But again, I'm not going to point any fingers. Let's let them do their job. But what we're not going to do, right, is have a person like this guy, this mofo. Watch it. I can't look at that. The fact that people like this exist is appalling. And he has a platform. Okay. Oh, y'all remember that? Sandra Massey. Which one was Sandra Massey? Before I get I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Sandra Massey was the young lady who, she was killed because she was taking the water off the stove. And she said, "I rebuke thee in the name of Jesus." And the demons that was in this guy at that time must have heard that and did not like that. And he just, in his mind, came up with it. You know, he took that as a threat, saying that she was trying to go to war on him. Like, come on, bro. But, like, here's the thing, right? Man, I'm gonna be real, bro. I'm gonna be real, bro. I'm gonna be real. They don't see us as people. We are not, like, for some of these people on this planet. I mean, like the true racists. I'm not talking about. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about, the everyday white person, walking down the street wants to get from point A to point B. I'm talking about those people who just have nothing but hatred in their heart for a black person anytime they see, right? They have nothing some of these people are empowered. Some of these people have control over, other people's lives, or their job is to monitor other people's lives. Their job is to protect and serve. But in these positions, you put these type of people in these positions, and they're gonna be who they are, right? With impunity, they're gonna do whatever, and they have a whole system in which to move around and do whatever it is that they want to do. They got a whole system to back them and support them, right? They'll hide behind the system. That's a fact. We can't act like that's not happening. That is. We see it every day. There's too many different conversations to have there. There's too many. But in this case, this guy right here, he wilded out. But again, your boy Officer Tatum, before the facts, and this is why I'm bringing this up, before the facts even came out, about this whole situation, Officer Tatum was he was doing a smear campaign against Sandra Nassar. He was talking about her mental health, bringing up her past, just anything to push to the media, to the public, that she was a bad person. And this is his thing. Like, that, that seems to be a group. I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you something that you might not believe, being that I have a criminal past, right? I've been locked up several years, what have you, right? I actually can say with all sincerity that I can appreciate a person that gets up, wakes up every day, goes out with the mindset on protecting the community. Like, if that's what you're going to go do, if that's truly who you are, you put your life on the line every day. Anytime I see an officer, I tell them thank you for their service. I don't even know what that service is, but that's something that I can commend in a person. I take it off of face value in that case, because you never know who's who and what's what. You don't want, me saying that, right? Me telling an officer that might, even if he is one of those, me saying that to every officer I see might make him think twice about just gunning down another black kid in the street that day. That's my line. I'm just doing my part. When I take time out to try to carve a space for those people like myself who has changed, who has made every effort to show that I've changed. I don't like to say the word rehabilitated, because no, I just changed, and it boils down to choice. I chose to change, and my life reflects that, right? And so when I see an officer, I tell him, hey, yo, thank you for your service. And my mindset in that is twofold. I really do. I can commend a person who gets up, goes out with the mindset on protecting the community. No ill will. It used to be a time when as soon as I seen it, I would flinch up, because I knew I was doing what I was doing. I see him now, I still get a little leery, but I ain't got nothing to worry about. I ain't doing nothing. I'm chilling. I'm going to work, and it can still happen to me because of the color of my skin. Period. Right? But I when I see him, I say that first thing on my mind, I can respect what you're doing, if that's what you're really doing, right? But then the second part, the most important part, is let me tell you this, because not everybody that looks like me feels the way that you think they feel towards you. Some of us actually can appreciate what you do if you're doing what you're saying you're doing. If you're doing what you've been assigned to do, and I ain't gonna say doing what you've been trained to do, because I don't know what the training is. That training, when it leads to the street, it looks like it's like shoot first and don't even ask no questions later. He had a gun. Oh, it was a cell phone. Oh, he was calling somebody. Yeah, I don't know. Right? But going back to this guy Brandon Tatum in the Sandra Massey case, with a woman that was shot and killed in her own kitchen. I think it was even like it was a call, like a well check. They were checking up on her to make sure she was all right. Somebody called to make sure she was all right. So, first and foremost, like, what are we doing? Ended up killing that girl in her kitchen. But as soon as this case came out, and obviously it's gonna be people feeling some type of way, they be acting like we can't get mad. Like, we're supposed to just go along with the stories, with the narrative. Like, nobody's not supposed to get mad. Like, don't you think people get tired and sick? And tired? And sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same shit happening and nothing happening after that? We just supposed to just die? Is that what it is? Right? But as soon as that, people start asking questions, you have people like this guy and black guy, right? His tactic, this is what I've learned from, in one day, and I've watched videos of this guy too. His whole movement is to dig up dirt on the person that just died. That ain't got shit to do with what just happened, but let me do that. And that's what, if you pay attention to the media, that's what happened. Somebody, police officer kills a person. The first thing you're going to see, or in the days to come, is that they're going to dig up dirt about the person that got killed, and that's going to be, they're going to just throw that in there. That's their playbook. They're going to just throw that in there. The 19-year-old who was shot yesterday, recently released 6 months ago from, being caught with drug paraphernalia. They're gonna just throw whatever it is. If they have something on your past, they're gonna bring it up. And you got people like this who, on the surface he's a black guy, and this is what, certain people on, I don't want to say on the other side, but certain people who will run with his narrative to kind of validate their way of thinking. Like, why can't all black people see it the way that this guy sees it? He's black. But is he though? Right? Because that was the question, right? That was the question I had to. It really, really made me stop and think, like, is being black today, like, is being black just the skin color anymore? Like, can that black experience be extended? Is black just the experience now? Because, like, this person, by appearance, all intents and purposes, he's black, but he's black, but he's not, by, yeah, he's by association, But I wouldn't, we wouldn't see him at the cookout. We'll probably see him at the shindig, but not at the cookout. Hell no, he's not coming. He wouldn't even want to come. He don't want to be around that. This dude don't even fuck with his own family. Like, quick to throw slander on a person. He found, like, he went into, oh my God, he went into this young boy. This boy it's sad. This is a young kid. I have a 19-year-old. My oldest is 19. Right? And this guy took it upon himself. And that's another part about it. He took it upon himself to slander this little boy, this kid, saying that he was doing drugs, that he was drunk, he was known for fighting all the time. Like, yo, what the hell does that got to do with his death? With him dying, bro? Don't you have a heart? Like, where does that even fit? Does that, all right, and let's say that, for all, like, for shits and giggles, right? Let's say he did do drugs. Let's say that he was drunk. Let's say that he used to, he had a fight or two in his life. Does that mean he should die, bro? And not only that he should die, but that his parents didn't get no peace, no answers. They don't deserve nothing, no peace of mind, nothing. Like, is that what you are saying right now? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Is that, no, like, just take it. That's it. You're dead. Don't ask no questions. This reminds me of this whole situation. To a certain degree, it's always going to have its parallels, right? It's not going to be exact, but this reminds me of the Kendrick Johnson situation. That was a debacle. That was absolutely appalling. That entire situation, I don't want to relive it. I don't want to bring it up. I was just watching a documentary the other day about that, and that I mean, yo, but I'll tell you this, and that really hurt me, just that whole situation. But I'll tell you, it seems to me that these kids that are these kids whose lives are being snatched from them, and these black kids. And I'm only talking about this because I'm a dad. I'm a black dad. I have a black son. And no matter what, he's gonna go outside. He can't hide his thing. He can't escape the fact that people who don't know him already have their minds made up about him when they see him. Maybe because he wants to wear his, he wears his ski mask. He doesn't wear it on his face, but he'll wear it on his head. He doesn't walk around with his pants hanging up like do that here. But my son has his own little style, and I don't. I tell him he can't wear no stop job. I don't want him wearing the ski mask, and I don't know. Like, I'm not with that. I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't. I think it. I do know why. I know what type of attention that's going to attract. So I tell him, like, that's not. But he doesn't even want to, because he knows that type of attention isn't warranted. It's not something that he is looking for. But I know, what trouble awaits him every time he walks out the door, just because of the color of his skin. And so I'm only talking about this because of that. But I do wanna say that I don't know, all these young kids whose lives are being snatched from them in these type of situations. Their parents are amazing. These parents, I commend them. I think they deserve all the praise because it couldn't have been. I mean that. I just never like. I just don't know, where the parents that are like we at. I don't even care. I don't want answers. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you, 100%. I don't care. I mean, I want answers enough to know that, my crash out ain't for no reason. But if this, all this stuff that's coming out, the way that, like, Lord, Lord, God forbid, but if something was to happen like this with all this nonsense going on, these people playing around, you bringing my son's phone home, stuff erased out the phone. Why you got my son's phone? You got this kid over here playing like he my son's friend. I ain't never met you. Like, man, y'all playing with my son's thing, man. Listen, man, couldn't have been. And this is not me to kind of, like, I'm not trying to shade the parents because, like I said, man, it takes a great deal of strength to hold your composure and let these people do their work. So, in some regards, I would say that these people are stronger than me. I'm not strong enough. I'm not. I'll be honest, I do not have the strength. I would have to ask God, literally, call God, like, yo, listen, come sit with me. Please, I don't have the strength. Give me the strength to not crash out over this shit. Not anyone, everyone over this shit. Just because of the games. Just because of the Uncle Ruckus of it all. Like, you got this random ass dude talking about my dead son, trying to slander my son. Like, who the f are you, bro? Like, where did you just come from, bro? Really? People talking about, like, you got people, grown-ups, grown-ass people with TV shows and news talking ill of this kid, man. Who all he wanted to do was be a kid for a day. Like, that's it. He went out. It's the 4th of July. He went to be a kid and he came back dead, bro. And then it's not like he didn't do anything to deserve that. Because if he did, then say that. Tell us what happened. But it's the whole Scooby-Dooby-Doo. It's the mystery. We gotta find. I'm not going through all of this shit, bro. I'm not. I'm sorry. Mama, I'm sorry. I'm not playing. Like, this shit right here would annoy me. That's it. It would just annoy me. And I don't even know, like, how. Seriously, how I would react. But how would you react? How would you react if you sent your kid out, he's hanging out with his white friends, they go where they're going, they come back with his phone, he's not there, nobody got answers, nobody's seen him, left like this whole, like, nobody, right off the rip, man, listen, I don't know, and I guess the whole point of it all is why I came up here and I was having a conversation with my son. And these type of things happen. I instantly go into talking to the kids, talking to my boys specifically. My daughter is a different conversation. It's different conversation. Of course, I definitely inform her of the perils that may befall her, something like that. But hers is different. Her walk is a little different. Right? She's pretty, light skin. It's different. And you can say, oh, nah, that's not still a black girl. And you're right. It could happen. Right? But I know it's immediate danger for every young black boy walking the streets. I was 12. No, I'm lying. I was 11. Walking to school, they hopped out. guns drawn, saying that you look like a robber, of which I may have looked like any robber in a 100-mile radius. Threw me on the ground, pushed me down, stood on my back till a car pulled up, and I just heard a woman say, "Oh no, it wasn't him. I told you he was a man. It was a big man." They were just running around, just whoever. And with this, it's a free for all. As long as you have this, to them, what are you? You're nobody. You're nothing. You can do that. And don't be mad about it. Don't say nothing about it. What? What's your problem? What are you mad about? What are you mad about? All we did was point guns at you, kid. All that was gonna happen is we was gonna put holes in if you jerked, if you sneeze. You was only gonna die with it. Don't make a big deal about it, man. You're just black. It's all right, man. This is America. You know where you are, right? What's wrong with you? Now keep it moving. What was that? You're gonna tell who? Your mom? Yeah, tell her to come down to the station. We'll do the same thing to her. Like, that's it. It's the Uncle Ruckus of it all for me, bro. We got people drawing all the wrong attention to the space, and I feel like, first and foremost, may that boy rest in peace. God have mercy on his soul. And may God have mercy on the soul of anyone who was involved with that, if at all, with that boy's death. Oh, because if that was my boy, they would need it. This is not hate speech, right? This is a black dad who's afraid, bro. And I'm more afraid because I know our children right now, like, I feel like, my generation of dads are the best dads. I'm talking like the black dads, like the ones, like, I feel like we are more active. Hell yeah, we are more active. We're more involved. We didn't go out to get the milk and never came back. We brought back cereal, right? We're here. We're active. No matter what the bitter big mom would say, the deadbeats and all that. No, we're here. We're active. We're talking to our kids, right? The unfortunate part about, these amazing dads right now is that disconnect that exists, is happening in so many ways, right? As much information that I feed to my boys, there's so much other information, coming at them from all different angles. You got all these social media. There's so much happening at these kids, not to them, but at these kids, at the speed of light. All this information attacking them, to even sometimes counter the information that I'm trying to give them to protect them. Have them thinking that it's cool to go out, just to walk outside, man. I'm not trying to teach my kids to live in fear. I do that. I live in fear every day because I know my sons are oblivious to the world around them. And in some ways I try to shelter them, from how nasty, how downright dastardly this world could be. But at some point, I had to start ripping the Band-Aid off, and poke a hole, stick my finger in the wound. Like, yo, listen, man, it's gonna get real. It's gonna get real, kid. And there's nothing that I could do, to truly protect them. At every, like, I can't protect them at every, every move, Hold on a second. I just know I'm not always gonna be here. I'm not always gonna be here. I tell my son that every day. And that's the truth. I'm not always gonna be here, and I just hope and pray, man, that the information that I give to them is the information that they will take and make better decisions. Definitely make better decisions than I did. But the fact that I know that they're oblivious to the world around them, when I say oblivious, I'm not saying that my kids are dumb. Of course not. I just know that they really haven't been in those situations. So if they ever find themselves in a situation, they won't even know it's a situation. So they're gonna just go off thinking it's cool. Cop, stop you, grab you by the wrist. That's not me. That's not me trying to get your attention, son. You could rip away from me, and I'll grab your shoulder and turn you back around like, boy, you crazy? What's wrong with you? But a cop might take that as a sign of aggression. Not might. It's a good chance that they will. And that's it. Just that quick. You're done. They're boom, 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 boom. That's it. That's it. The attitudes that I've been talking to my sons. Like, yo, the attitudes that you carry with me. I'm your dad. I got the patience. I love you. Right? All the times I done had to give you a spanking because you did this or did that. I ain't do that because I find joy in that. I'm here to make sure that I do everything because I love you, but I do everything to make sure that you don't go out there and make a poor decision, because it only takes a split second. And they're not going to have the patience. They're not going to want to know what's wrong with you. Because by the time they meet you, they've already been fed information about you. Not you, but everybody that looks like you. Everyone that shares the hue that you do. Right? The same information or the same media, the same movies, the same music, all of these things that is being pushed out to us is being pushed out to them, and the majority of the things that reach the mainstream, the perception of us as a people is bad all around the world. That hate is spewed all around the world equally. So when they see you, they look at you as just another nigga. That's it. And if you display any characteristic of just another nigga, they gonna hit you. Because it's just another trigger that they gonna get you. That's it. Boom, that's it. Paperwork. And gonna kill you, start crying, I had to take a life. I never wanted to do it. Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. Not mine. Not mine. I don't listen, man. All I'm saying is, in the case with this young man, and there's another case I just seen too, crazy. Like, this is just nonstop. But case with this young man, let that Let that young man rest. Stop, stop trying to slander this man's name. All you Uncle Ruckuses of the world. Or I mean, it's one thing when it's people that are, just blatantly racist, the bigotry and all of that. I could respect like a blatant racist. At least I know where they stand, right? There's no surprise here, right? But it's the sneaky, slimy, snaky, backstabby, act like you're cool, act like you're for the people type of people that, that get me. Don't, nah, you ain't, you ain't family, bro. But I'd say this, I'm gonna end this now. Talk to your kids, man. Really, man. The day of trying to be the Disney dad is over, man. It's over. You gotta be that BET after dark dad. You gotta really talk to them, sit them down, man. Tell them what's really out there waiting for them. You gotta prepare them. You're not gonna be that little, that kid no more, man. They're getting older. My son, like I said, my oldest is 19. Like, he about to be 20. That's a man. That's a man. Like I said, man, the same information that you come across, the same information that they come across. You see it when you go through your social media, or the girls, they twerk. You see the guys, all they want is the chain. You got the guys with the Nazi dreads. You see how they depict us. Everything you go through, you scroll through. It's nothing but nonsense. Somebody fighting in the street. You got the footage of the crackheads fighting. Somebody just getting hit with a stick. Just nonsense. You go through your social media, your Facebook feed right now. I kid you not, you ain't gonna get back. You ain't gonna get past some of these scrolls without seeing some nonsense. And it might be local, right where you at, right? They seeing that too. And then they'll just put us all in that same box. And that's on top of all the years and years and years of the propaganda, the media, the blackface, the history. The history's there. All of these, these tropes that they in most cases created. The lies that they told about us as a people that that they created, that they believed after a while. A person alive who just lies all the time, that they lie so much that they actually start believing their lies. Yeah, them. Those are people I'm talking about. Not every white person is a racist. Just like, not every white person is a racist. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. No. But the ones that are, it takes a special type of person to be a racist. Like, there's hatred there. And that's not a hatred that derives from anything in particular. It's just hatred in their heart. That's just there. There's nothing that, that I did or you did. They just hate you. And I mean, if I could possibly ask why that hate exists, but I will be wasting my time because it's not going to change anything. The fact that it's there is there. All I can do in it is to move accordingly, act accordingly, and all I can do is teach my kids to move accordingly, act accordingly. And all I'm saying to you tonight is do your best to do the same, man. Because we can't change the world with one song, one conversation, not with one. It's going to take some time, it's going to take some work. But as long as I'm doing my job where I'm at with mine, and you doing yours, where you at with yours, I think just for tonight, They with you. They your kids are your kids at home right now. They with you. They with you. They not. Call them. And if make sure they where they supposed to be. You where you supposed to be. Just for tonight, your kids is going to go to sleep, and you don't have to wake up. You're getting no call that something bad happened. I don't even want to know what that feels like to wake up. To that call, man. I love mine. I'm gonna go right after this. I'm gonna go hug my 19-year-old ass grown man have a son. Tell him I love him. He's probably gonna make a face, be awkward and uncomfortable about it because you feel like you're too big for that. But you mine. You my baby. You ain't never gonna be too big for that. For me, my son. I love you. Go love yours. On that note, I'm out of here. I just wanted to tap in with y'all right quick. To me, this is just kind of like therapy. It's a little thing that I came across it. I thought I wanted to share some stuff with y'all, man. I really feel like I got my point across. You gotta watch these grifters, man. These people out here using other people's pain and suffering as a way to monopolize on it. Like, that's sad, bro. That this is where we are as a people. People using other people's pain and suffering. Like, that's nasty work. That's but again, I'm out of it, man. Wherever you at, whatever you're doing, man, go ahead, man. Be good. Can't be good, be great. I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. okay. Put too much water. Tastes good. That's what I'm having. That's what I'm having. What da 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 da? What da da da? What da da da? What da da da? Panta na fan. Sila kayo wan. Ano panta da da? What da da da? What da one fan? Kasi para lang da pati pati wan sayan. Si para pa na ya da da da. I want saya fan. Where I come from? It's from Eba. I what da da da? Don't run to ya again. I got bang ba ba bang. Where I come from? Da da da. Run to ya again. Where I come from? I go bang ba ba ba. Pepper sang with the ye one time. Ye one time. What had I done? Dun, dun, dun. What a horrible day. Horrible day.